Okay. I need to give credit to Tasha Eurich. There's a great TED Talk she did about self-awareness. And I read some of her Harvard Business Review articles. She wrote one or two articles on emotional intelligence, and we talked about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I'm taking some of her, basically, her TED Talk is just a little piece of the article she's written for Harvard Business Review. But this is a really good one. We're going to talk on some of this today. You can't read it says, increase your self-awareness with one simple fix. So that is my goal today as we're running through this. So let's get started. And I changed our slides up a little bit, so for anybody that's watching on the videos, you can actually see what the slides say instead of just some obscure white blank screen as if we have some big secret here that we're hiding from everyone. But so a couple weeks ago, we talked about emotional intelligence and the 5 components of it: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skill. And as we promised, we're going to jump off that cliff with our parachute into number 1 today on self-awareness. Because I believe it's the most important component of emotional intelligence. And if you remember, some of the components of self-awareness are having a realistic self-assessment, self-deprecating sense of humor, and confidence. Okay, this is an actual real word. Does anybody know what this word is? Amygdala. Does anybody know what the amygdala is? Yes, it is. It's a very important part of your brain, Kappa. You just got a free pair of socks. The amygdala is part of the brain, and it's located in the brain's medial. I'm only going to get real scientific for like 2 sentences, so just bear with me. It's located in the brain's medial temporal lobe, and it's the part of the brain that detects and processes fear. And when our amygdala is activated by a situation, whether you just had a bad phone call, someone cuts you off, you are reading an email, when our amygdala is activated by a situation we interpret as a potential threat, even if we're just reading an email or we just had a phone call or walking down the street, it initiates psychological changes such as increased muscle tension, the amygdala does, and accelerated breathing. That's the little piece of your brain, little gray matter that controls your fear. And the word why contributes to a false sense of fear. It's part of what that video was discussing is don't believe all the things that you're telling yourself. Well, Mr. or Mrs. Amygdala is that little person inside your head telling you these things because it's the one processing fear based on what you're experiencing. So the word why. I looked up the word why, and it has one of the shortest definitions in Webster's dictionary. The word why is an adverb, and the meaning is for what cause, reason, or purpose. And if you have children, or if you come to my house sometimes, there's a 20-word why limit. And why? I have to go to the office. Why? Because I need to get some things done. Why? Because I can't get them done here. Why? Because you and your sisters are here. Why? Because your mother and I decided we wanted to have children. Why? Because we thought it was fun. Why? I don't know. I'm now questioning why myself. But we ask why all the time. And I'll show you how I try to flip that back on them. This does not work in children, okay? What we're talking about today is just for yourself. So the other word is what. And what has a slightly longer definition. It's a pronoun, and the meaning is used as an interrogative expressing inquiry about the identity, nature, or value of an object or matter. What are you going to be doing at the office, Dad? What didn't you get done? What can't you do because we're here? So we're going to have a little exercise. Now, the question we want to focus on today is, what prevents us from seeing ourselves clearly? Because that's what self-awareness is. Self-awareness is the ability to see ourselves clearly. So what prevents us from doing that? Well, we don't acknowledge and address our own emotions and concerns, and we run the risk of experiencing a lower sense of self-worth and physical stress. If I go back to that slide, the amygdala is it's like the size of an almond inside your brain that sends all these messages to your body that says, tense up in your neck and shoulders and your face, you're frustrated, just stop breathing. You know, the amygdala sends all these messages all over your body. And when you ask why doesn't answer the truth about ourselves. Why creates alternative facts. And I'll give you an example. I always try to tie this to real estate because that's what we're in. We're not running some scientific social behavior lab here at Bickerstaff Farm. We're trying to grow successful agents. So why is this important for real estate? Or better yet, I should say, what can you benefit from learning about self-awareness by being here today? Why? When you ask why didn't they list their house with me? Why didn't they call me when they bought a house? I just don't get it. Why didn't they call me? We've been best friends for a long time. I'm a great agent. Why don't I have any listings right now? Why don't I have any appointments on my calendar? I'm freaking out. Why did I get into this business? Okay? Those are why questions. Those are deadly. They are dangerous. Is anybody stressed out right now? Don't raise your hand. But just by me saying those questions, did anybody start thinking those thoughts for themselves? That's what the word why does. So when you ask what could I have done to earn that listing? That's a lot different than saying, why didn't they list with me? Why did they list with Alan? What could I have done to have earned their business? What could I have done to stay in flow with them or in contact with them so that they would have bought a house with me? And then, what activities could I do today that are going to put me in a position to get a listing tomorrow or next week? In your mind, when I started reading through this, it's like, this really can't be that different. But when you think about it, what and why do totally different things to us. Why is the little bomb that the amygdala sends out to the world, and when you start using that, it feeds the amygdala. Oh my God, why am I even doing this? Why did I go here? I knew the food was going to be terrible. So what could I have done to prevent myself from having a bad meal? Oh, I should have asked my wife where she wanted to go. Then I wouldn't have made a bad decision. Ask what, not why. It's really simple to do. And the benefits? What questions move us forward? When you spend too much time focusing on why, you never understand how you can get past it. If you sit and think about why this didn't happen, why they didn't call you, why I don't have any business, that sucks you in. It raises the chances of you feeling depressed about what is happening. The word what is what moves you on and moves you forward. It gives you purpose. You'll see yourself more clearly if you start asking what instead of why. You can make sounder decisions because what helps you determine what you need to do so that doesn't happen again. What could I do today to get a listing tomorrow. I could watch the Leading RE course for 5 minutes about the 10-10-20 plan to get listings. I could go talk to Alan. I could talk to Julie. I could talk to a fellow agent. You'll learn how to react with resilience in tough situations. Because real estate is tough. And we tell everybody that's getting into it. And it was kind of funny at the career night at CSU. I try to tell every single person they're taking the test today, Alan, I think. Everybody that stopped by our table said, real estate's really easy. You know, you got to take this course, pass the test, boom, you're in real estate. So once you get into real estate, I said, it is incredibly difficult because you have to decide that you want to do the things you need to do to be successful. And we can't make you do it. And there are 1,000 reasons why people won't be successful. There's only one answer to those questions. It's because they choose not to be. So, what should they be doing so that they can be successful? And one of my favorite reasons and benefits for this is learning how to deal with difficult people. We learn how to deal with we have the opportunity to deal with difficult people all the time in real estate. So instead of thinking, why didn't they accept that offer? They are idiots. Can't believe they didn't accept this. What could I have done to present the terms of the offer more clearly so that they would understand that this was a great offer? I saw an amendment today. This morning, agent sent it to me to review, and the other agent, they didn't even ask for anything in the repairs. They just copied and pasted some of the findings, and it just said, evaporator coil frozen. Outlet doesn't flip a switch. I'm like, they don't even realize they didn't even ask you to do anything. What? Instead of saying, why did they send this over? Like, what is the correct response to this? That agent has no idea what they've just done and is going to create all kind of confusion with the seller, and the seller's agent could just tell them that we're not going to do anything because they didn't ask. I mean, they literally did not ask. They just put some language in there. So that's going to be a difficult situation to deal with. They'll handle it fine. I thought this was interesting. Self-awareness. This is going to be a bumper sticker at Bickerstaff Farm. Self-awareness. It's more valuable than an MBA. You know, self-awareness is less about changing ourselves by learning new skills than about discovering ourselves by giving something up, including our most cherished notions of the person we think we are in order to discover the person we could become. So the challenge is, what can you do today that will help yourself be better tomorrow? I appreciate y'all being here this morning. Thank you.